right, in the meantime, we're still following Donald Trump at a rally in Warwick, Rhode Island. But the comments he's been making have been over the top here. Of course, he's continuing calling Ted Cruz Lion Ted, but now he's advanced to John Kasich, saying that he's a horrible leader. That he puts, a whole pancake in his mouth, whatever. But I'm thinking to myself, is this acting presidential? Is this the kind of thing these new Trump operatives want to hear and see? Well, it's not what a lot of big donors in the Republican Party like to hear and see. Lionel Chetwynd is the producer, screenwriter, and Hollywood donors having doubts, and he is part of that group, I guess, a co-founder, Friends of Abe. So I guess back to the big issues that maybe Abe Lincoln would not quite relate to right now. But you're worried, right? Lionel, you're worried.
Well, certainly if eating habits in the way, if that's going to be on the front plate, I'm very worried. Yeah, I wouldn't score well with that. Yeah, it's worrisome. It's worrisome. We've certainly out in California, we've never really counted. We've been behind by the time it got out here, everything was done with. So finally we count, and we do so at a moment of deep division and inflamed tensions, it's just inflamed. Everything's inflamed.
Where do they go, Lionel? Where do guys like you, I'm sorry, Lionel, where do guys like you go? When I talked to Jerry Della Femina, who's as big a Republican as you could get, and he said, Neil, I know I'm going to take heat for this. I'm going to vote for Hillary Clinton, not to sit out the election, go for Hillary Clinton. I think we need a cleansing process. I think that Donald Trump needs to be beaten badly to send a message, this is not who we are, and I'm willing to suck that up. Others, like Chrissy Todd Whitman, the former governor of New Jersey, says much the same. What do you think of that?
Well, with respect to Delfino, looking to Hillary Clinton as a cleansing agent, I don't know about that. I don't think that flies. And I could not imagine myself voting for her under any condition.
What about not voting at all? I hear from more who say they just won't vote at all.
Well, here's the problem, Neil. American elections, our presidential elections, they're not essay questions.
Yeah.
In the end, it's a multiple choice. It's A, B, C, or none of the above. And until you're faced with that, you can't really make a decision. On the basis of an essay question, I might do any one of a number of things. But at that moment, with all that stands, we stand at the hinge of history. I think we're all finally beginning to understand that. The hinge may have closed. The door may have closed in 2012. I'm beginning to wonder whether or not that isn't the case. But clearly this is a hinge in history. This is 1848 in Europe. It's the 1850s bleeding Kansas. Things will not be the same ever again. Peggy Noonan writes of this with a melancholy because, after all, she's on the losing side, whatever happens. But for some of us, this is a great moment. This is a great opportunity. It's a chance to steer the car back on the road.
What if you can't, Lionel? What if you can't? With this candidate, you can't. Say what you will of him and his huge appeal. It might be limited in general election, and he might become your Barry Goldwater, and he might lead to a landslide defeat where the Senate itself could turn.
The real fear, I don't think he will get that big a pass. I think the pressure will come for him. He cannot win the. I don't care. Yes. Here's the deal. Let's say he gets a nomination. As you know, Neil, when someone gets that close to the presidency, it's like when you want to make a film and you get so close, and you need the extra little bit, you start making compromises in order to get that green light. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll take less money. I'll take the lesser star. You start making compromises. The compromises that I believe that the party will demand of him are who's going to be around you. Is your Secretary of State going to be John Bolton? Or is it going to be John Kerry or someone of that soft ilk? And that's when we're going to start to understand exactly who this guy is. And I don't think he will be. Typically I think presidential candidates get a run all the way to the end, and they're not really demanded who's around you, demanded to report out who's around them. But I don't think he's going to get that. He can't. He can't claim to be a virgin in the brothel. He's been there, and he knows, and he's based his campaign on that. I'm a worldly man. I know what's going on. Well, then, come clean with us now, and who are your people, and what do you stand for? We know it's got to be more than him. And so when I have to face the essay question, rather the the multiple choice question, hopefully I'll know who's around it. Is it John Bolton or is it the John Kerry types? My fear of Trump is that he will gather around him people like Kerry. He will gather around him the very same people that have been his friends all his life in New York, and that when push comes to shove, he will leave this insurgency behind. Some of us have been involved in this for years. For years we've been trying to mount an insurgency that could right the course. And, you know, this was going to be the big party, and now we have an uninvited guest, and he's taken over the proceedings.
That's true.
He's not going to get away, but I don't think he can get away with it quite like that. I do not believe that at the end of the day, anyone who's been part of this insurgency could possibly vote for Hillary Clinton, and if it's close enough, possibly withhold their vote. I just, you know.
You might be right. You might be right. But there are quite a few who say that now. But you're right. They could change. Lionel Chetwynd, thank you very, very much. Good having you on.
Thank you.